Okay, this is well, I should say it's a fun one. I should preface this that this is like somewhat of a sad one.
It's going to be fun and sad,
but
that's a good thing.
Also, very interesting and pretty impactful in the kind of grand scheme of things. So this is both the story of David Reimer. And subsequently also, by sort of association, we'll be talking a lot about John Money.
John Money?
Yeah. So let's start with David.
Okay, Dave Reimer, Mennonite boy. So born 22nd of August, 1965, passed away 4th of May, 2004 at age 38. Okay. Where are we going with this? Born
in Winnipeg, of course. Actually, is buried at the St. Vital Cemetery in the South End. And
should
we go ahead.
Sorry, no.
No, go ahead.
I was just wondering if we should go there.
I was thinking that. I was kind of like, I read the story. Well, no, it's there. The body's there, I'm sure. I don't think we need to verify.
We found the body. Do you believe us now?
Knocking on. Hello? Beetlejuice.
Yeah, totally. Candyman.
He was, the elder of identical twin boys. This is important to know. He's born Bruce Reimer. He's born as Bruce Reimer. This is also important to know.
Okay, cool.
His identical twin was called Brian. They were
Bruce and Brian.
Yeah.
Reimer.
Parents were Janet and Ron Reimer. Okay. A couple of Mennonite descent.
Nice.
At 6 months old, after concern was raised about how the boys were urinating, they were both diagnosed with phimosis, which I'm not going to hover over this blue link, but as I understand it, it is, I already hovered over it at home earlier. It's like a foreskin issue that makes it so that the foreskin doesn't do what it should, and it can create like swelling underneath the foreskin.
Oh my God.
So they get referred for circumcision.
Sure.
At about 7 months old. The practitioner does a bit of an unconventional thing and uses electrocauterization.
Dude, when you're circumcised, anything with the dick, don't go unconventional. Don't try to experiment.
Let's go conventional.
Honestly, just do what's been tried and tested.
It's a great point.
You don't want your doctor who's about to play around with your ding-a-ling to be like, all right, we're going to do something new here. I'm pretty sure this is going to work. It's going to be even better.
That Trump line of concepts of a plan.
Yeah, totally. We're going to try it out. Okay, so what happened?
So she goes in using electrocauterization on David first. This is
Bruce. Okay.
The procedure burned his penis beyond surgical repair.
Oh my God, dude.
So the doctors then choose not to operate on Brian, whose phimosis soon cleared without surgical intervention.
He what?
The phimosis?
Yeah.
Just got better. So they just didn't need to do a circumcision on him.
This is a awful story. Yeah. And by awful, I mean like entertaining, but brutal, bro.
So now we're left with David, Bruce with a mashed up penis.
Sure.
And Brian with no surgical intervention. His penis is fine. Twin brothers. So the parents are concerned about the prospects of future happiness and sexual function without a penis.
Yeah.
So they take him to Johns Hopkins, one of the great
famous hospital.
Yeah. In Baltimore in early 1967 to see John Money. This is where John Money comes in. He is a New Zealand psychologist, sexologist, and was a professor at Johns Hopkins, and mostly known for his research on human sexual behavior and gender.
Okay.
He is not looked upon fondly by most people.
Well, his last name's Money. All right. Yeah. You got your work cut out for you.
Particularly by he believed that transgender people had idée fixe, which is just like in their head, sort of what it sounds like being fixed on the idea of like, no, I am trans and I'm set on that. So he was calling it like a mental illness, effectively, that could sort of be, subverted or avoided in some way.
Read the room, John.
So he,
not what you want to be saying.
He established the Johns Hopkins Gender Identity Clinic in 1965 and he screened adult patients for 2 years prior to granting them a medical transition. And believed that sex roles should be de-stereotyped so that masculine women would be less likely to desire transition.
Okay, so this guy's like really the judge and jury of who gets to transition.
Sees himself that way, for sure, and treated the gender identity clinic that way under those rules.
Yeah. And again, your last name is Money. Nobody's going to trust you. All right. If my last name was Tyler Money, nobody's fucking. I would have no friends.
Yeah.
Right?
So he did some other stuff, but he really, in my eyes, is just like a real piece of shit kind of guy.
Sure.
He coined the term chronophilia, which is like the sexual attraction to like younger people, generally speaking.
Okay.
And goes on to say
chronophilia.
It's sort of the catch-all term for like
pedophiles.
Pedophile, but then you notice how there's different words for like a pedophile is actually this is this.
Oh, there's
this.
like a
it's the catch-all term. Yes, exactly.
Okay,
so that's
cool.
the catch-all term for all of that. And he would say, ultimately, he stated that pedophilia, among other chronophilias, could be characterized as combining, quote, devotion, affection, and limerence, comradeship with a touch of hero worship, and ultimately as, quote, harmless in most instances.
Oh, okay, cool. It's a good thing.
Yeah, he's a psycho. He's just like a nutball, guy.
What's this guy? Dude, there's got to be a better way to spend your time. You're a doctor.
Well, it seems like he got into doctoring to mostly prove that it's okay to like kids.
Yeah.
So just like it's crazy that he got to the position he was in while openly sharing these views.
Yeah, he's at Johns Hopkins. This guy's a piece of shit.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like some of these things he did say later, but
yeah,
just like a real turd dipshit idiot.
John Money, not good.
So they take David, Bruce,
yep,
to see John Money at Johns Hopkins.
Sure.
He, at this point, has a developing reputation as a pioneer in the field of sexual development and gender identity.
Okay.
Based on his work with intersex patients.
Okay, cool.
For the purposes of discussion here, intersex we will define as people born with any of several sex characteristics, including chromosome patterns, gonads, genitals.
Okay.
Intersex.
Sorry, what is it?
It's intersex.
Yeah, I know, but like people born with kind of both shit.
Yeah, like a dick and a pussy.
A dick and a pussy.
Yeah.
You got balls and ovaries, shit like that.
Yes,
okay,
chromosome patterns. So like, more like genetic stuff going on than just physical.
Okay. Just for the record, too, we're morons. We don't know this shit. You might know.
Yeah, I'm just reading off of also.
We're on Wikipedia right now.
Blue links here, but just for the sake of what he was researching.
Give us a break, all right?
That's the catch-all that he was working in this time.
Intersex.
It was a prominent proponent of the theory of gender neutrality, that gender identity developed primarily as a result of social learning from early childhood, and that it can be changed with the appropriate behavioral interventions.
Okay. I don't know what that means.
So he's saying that gender is learned.
Okay, cool.
Through you're
a
making
boy,
them
play
wear a
with
dress.
trucks.
Yes,
Yeah, sure.
stuff like
Okay, cool.
At a basic level, yeah, that.
You like blue Lego.
Totally. To really strip it down, he was kind of like you could teach a boy to be a girl.
Oh, okay, cool.
If you raised them as such.
Sure.
The Reimers saw him being interviewed on the Canadian news program This Hour Has 7 Days.
Yeah.
During which he discussed his theories about gender. At that time, surgical construction of the vagina was more advanced than construction of the penis.
Okay.
Money believed that David, Bruce, would be happiest in adulthood living as a woman with functioning genitalia.
Okay.
They convinced the Reimers.
This fucking poor kid, dude. He's getting a lot of choices made for him before he can even.
6 months old.
At 6 months old.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is, what do we say here? Born in 65. This is in 67. So at this point, 2 years old.
Sure.
Still too young to, whatever.
He's like, what's happening? Can I get some applesauce?
So Money and the Hopkins team persuade the parents that sex reassignment surgery would probably be the best option.
Sure.
So at 22 months, David undergoes a bilateral orchiectomy, which is they take out both of your balls. They surgically remove the testes, and a rudimentary vulva was constructed by genital plastic surgery. He was reassigned to be raised as a female and given the name Brenda, similar to his birth name, Bruce.
Okay.
Psychological support for the reassignment and surgery is provided by John Money, who continued to see him annually.
Yeah.
Would check up to just see how things are going for consultations and to assess the outcome. The reassignment was considered an especially important test case of the social learning concept of gender identity for two reasons. First, Reimer's identical twin brother, Brian, made an ideal control because the brothers shared genes, family environments.
That's right.
You know, this is like the Germans used to do a lot of this.
Yeah.
They used to say, let me get twins, because then we can use one as a control.
Yeah, they love twins.
So, and I will liken this to that.
Sure.
Because it's really bad what they're doing here. And it is very much in line with that sort of line of thinking.
Totally. Yeah, because that's what they're doing, right? They're kind of like, they fucked up, and now they're kind of using this kid. They're going to be like, oh, no, we're going to do a little something different. He'll never know. She'll never know. Mm-hmm. And they're kind of using him as a guinea pig.
100%.
This John Money guy's like, we're going to see what happens. This is going to be exhilarating and intellectually stimulating.
And to be clear, it wasn't Money that performed the circumcision.
Yeah.
But I think when they brought the child to him, he was like, oh, he has a twin. Jackpot.
Dude. Last name Money. This is a money experiment.
Yeah.
What a piece of shit.
And then secondly, this was reputed to be the first reassignment and reconstruction performed on a male infant who had no abnormality of prenatal or early postnatal sexual differentiation, which is the process of development of the sex differences between males and females from an undifferentiated zygote. So when you're coming from the really prenatal form of the baby, the point at which it is sort of, for lack of a better term, deciding whether it's going to be
that's right,
genetically male or female. There's sometimes oopsies, mix-ups, whatever. And then at birth, like in the case of some intersex people, they go, let's pick one.
Okay, cool.
Because they're born with both genitals, and so they just go, well, we'll pick. Rather than living as such, we just go this,
Yeah. Quick side note, I'm starting a brutal slamming death metal band called Zygote. Anyways.
Good one.
What, not the time? I gotta lighten this fucked up story up somehow.
No,
Jesus Christ.
There's funny parts.
Are there funny parts in this story?
Well, no, but I think there's parts that we can make funny.
Okay, all right. We'll try, dude. I tried with the death metal joke, but let's try to lighten it up. This is heartbreaking.
So to recap, we've accidentally mutilated his penis by mistake.
Fuck.
We've taken him to a psycho doctor who has decided
to use his kid as an experiment,
to raise them as a girl instead.
Sure.
On the backdrop of the controlled twin brother. And this is the first time it's ever being done, basically, as you said, as like a guinea pig, because there was no real reason to do it other than that we fucked up the initial circumcision. And now this guy thinks that we can try this thing he wants to try, basically.
He wants to try it out so that he can solidify his stature as some pioneering doctor.
Yeah. So it was being reported on as it progressed as the John/Joan case, as a means of just protecting the identity of this child.
Okay, sure.
And he described it apparently as a successful female gender development, even after David informed his father at age 14 that he had always felt he was a boy, bringing the experiment to an end. So the whole time, Money's going, no, it's going pretty well. I think that he's just a normal, happy little girl. And then
look, Brenda's got a dress on. It worked. And we did it.
At 14, he goes, no, I've always felt like a boy. I thought we were just, you made me do that.
Hey, Dad, you know I'm a dude, right? Because I am a dude. I don't know what to tell you, bro.
So this is where Money gets extra fucked. There's a guy called John Colapinto who wrote a biography of Reimer in 2001. And he says the sessions with Money included what Money called childhood sexual rehearsal play.
What?
So he would make Brian, the twin brother, get behind David and pantomime sex.
What? How old were they?
They don't say, but they only saw him up to at latest 14 years old.
Oh.
And then on at least one occasion, Money took photographs of them doing these activities.
Oh, and this is the same guy writing chronophilia papers.
Yeah, and saying also that this is a healthy little girl right here that I've grown in my lab.
Holy shit, dude.
Naturally, both David and Brian were traumatized. Brian speaking about it only with the greatest emotional turmoil, and David unwilling to speak about it publicly at all.
Oh my God, bro.
On to puberty.
What happened?
David was given estrogen during adolescence, so therefore inducing breast development, because at this point they're like, you're a girl.
You're a girl.
Money wrote that the child's behavior is so clearly that of an active little girl and so different from the boyish ways of her twin brother. That's the doctor's claims.
David's like, bro, you put this ponytail in. I don't want this.
I love basketball.
I don't know what to tell you, dude. I've been watching monster truck rallies for 6 hours now. I think I'm a dude.
Have you heard Walk by Pantera?
Walk on home, boy. Holy shit.
CCR playing in there.
Yeah, exactly.
So they attended Glenwood School in Winnipeg, which is in the south end, as far as it's in the hotel, I think, actually. And he David, that is, attended R.B. Russell Vocational and eventually just stopped going to school and was tutored privately. By the age of 13, David was experiencing suicidal ideations, depression.
No shit.
Yeah, and told his parents that if you make me go see that doctor one more time, I'm going to kill myself.
Yeah. He's taking pictures of me. He's dressing me up. He's making me play with my brother. Yeah. This is not fucking cool. I'm a dude, and this world sucks.
So on March 14th, 1980, his parents sat him down and basically told him, this is what happened. You are a boy. We've been raising you as a girl. This is why.
What a mind fuck. Can you imagine that colossal mind fuck of that conversation?
And they were on Oprah.
They were
at
on
some
Oprah.
Point, the family was on Oprah. And so I'll finish this line first and then we'll get to that.
Sure.
So this is at about 14 years old. Having been informed of that, he decided to start living as a man again.
Yeah.
Being like, that's how I've always felt.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, this makes so much sense, sort of thing.
Sure.
And decided to go by the name David.
Sure.
So that's where we get David Reimer, which we will know him as moving forward.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah, they went on the Oprah show actually, and to his credit, spoke of just like forgiving his parents that they told him, and they sort of just like effectively begged for his forgiveness to say, hey, we're really sorry. This is the truth, and we hope you can forgive us. And to his credit, he did. He very humbly said, yeah, no, I forgive you. I don't know what I would have done, obviously, but thanks for telling me now, and I'm going to live now moving forward as David.
Wow. That's a very mature response to that. Yeah. I would have been like, fuck you, fuck the world. I'm going to go hop on a train and do some drugs or something. That's insane.
For all he was faced with, David seemed like a very forgiving, as much as one, can be, and pretty level-headed individual about it, giving interviews afterwards being like, this can never happen again.
Absolutely.
Gave a very eerie interview actually for BBC. I think it was one of his last interviews where he says like, what has to happen? Someone has to shoot themselves in the head before this ends or whatever. Foreshadow.
Oh, yeah, right.
So
this episode's this is gonna get blacklisted from YouTube. I can tell already.
No, we're gonna be the only video on YouTube about it. I looked around and there's a couple like English people being like, oh, it's crazy, isn't it?
Oh, it's spooky. It rough.
But it is crazy how like little, there's stuff on it because this becomes obviously a big case in the transgender community as far as like, we cannot force reassignment. What are we doing here?
Yeah, for sure.
So like I said, by 13 was feeling suicidal. By 14 was going by David again.
Sure.
And had started treatment to effectively reverse the stuff they'd done. He had double mastectomy, phalloplasty operation. So like put a new hog on him.
Oh, sure.
Testosterone injections, that sort of stuff.
Okay.
Into adulthood, he worked at a slaughterhouse and just odd jobs.
Slaughterhouse.
Just letting...
No shit, bro. Take it out on those slabs of beef. Honestly, get it out of your system, kid.
Got married, adopted 3 children. Oh, well, would adopt her 3 children. He married a woman called Jane Fontaine. She had 3 children whom he adopted.
Oh, nice. Got a family.
Liked camping, fishing, antiques, and collecting old coins.
I mean, the guy's a dude. I don't know what to tell you.
That's what I mean. He just was a dude. Living a dude-ass life.
He's a dude living a dude-ass life.
So the case came to international attention in 1997 when he told his story to Milton Diamond, an academic sexologist who persuaded Reimer to allow him to report the outcome in order to dissuade physicians from treating other infants similarly.
Sure.
He said, holy shit, dude, can I report this? Because they're still doing this. They're saying your story was a big success and they're using that to do this to other kids.
Yeah.
So can you help me stop this?
Yeah.
And he went, yeah, let's not let this happen to other kids.
This kid had a crazy life. John Money, Milton Diamond.
What is this, a board game?
No shit. Is this a book? What's going on here? It sounds like comic book shit.
I'm always shocked that I can find another story seemingly crazier than the last.
It's honestly,
with general ease. I don't have to look far.
This is insane.
So he goes public with the story, and John Colapinto, who I mentioned earlier, published an account of this story in Rolling Stone in December 97, and that article won National Magazine Award for reporting.
Cool.
Yeah. That was later expanded into the New York Times best-selling biography, As Nature Made Him, The Boy Who Was Raised as a Girl. And that was the book that Colapinto wrote, and described how, contrary to Money's reports, when living as Brenda, Reimer did not identify as a girl. He was ostracized and bullied by peers who dubbed him Cave Woman. And neither frilly dresses nor female hormones made him feel female.
Yeah, kids are the worst. And that would suck because, like, the dudes are going to torture, I guess, her at the time because not really fitting into the female pattern. And the girls all hate her because she's clearly kind of a dude. And he's sitting in a dress and pigtails going, I'm a dude, dude.
Yeah, it was beyond like a tomboy thing.
Yeah.
And they mentioned that a little bit in the Oprah interview of the mom being like, I thought I'd dress her like a tomboy and it would be okay, sort of thing.
And this John Money guy's sitting on his fucking throne. He's like, we did it.
And publishing this as a success, like I said, leading to other people being like, oh, we can do that.
Yeah.
Oh, just chop it off. It's good. Works out fine. He said so.
Don't trust doctors, people. Just because they got doctor, it doesn't mean they're not a raging piece of shit.
Yeah, especially in this case.
So
the year before he died, he lost $65,000 in investments.
Who did?
Reimer.
Oh.
David Reimer.
He's just a bad investor?
Shit happens.
Okay.
Well, let's see.
Market tanked.
What year did he die here again, did we say? 2004. So.
.com bubble?
Was 2004 bad financial year? I don't think so, really.
Okay,
but anyway, lost 65 grand. In addition to his difficult lifelong relationship with his parents, he was unemployed and experienced remorse due to the death of his brother Brian from an overdose of antidepressants.
Jeez Louise.
That was in 2002 that his brother passed away. In 2004, his wife told him she wanted to separate.
Jeez.
That was the 2nd of May, 2004. And then on the morning of May 4th, 2004, he drove to a grocery store's parking lot in his hometown of Winnipeg and shot himself in the head. 2 days after his wife asks for a split.
God. So, when does this get funny?
Soon.
Okay. Just a quick aside, of course. And this goes for me, this goes for you, this goes for anyone at home. We all have our hardships, okay? But the next time, and I'm talking to Tyler Penner here, the next time you're bitching about whatever problem you have in life, whatever difficulty you think is facing, whether it's a rumors crowd being weird or you not getting on the Winnipeg Comedy Fest or you having gripes with whatever the fuck, gratitude, okay? You've got a great life. You watching this right now probably have a great life. If not a great life, a better life than this poor prick.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. We won the lottery just because when we were 6 months old, some crazy doctor didn't solder our cocks off. Like
cock solder. Now there's a band. Hey, you said it too soon. Cock solder is a band.
Cock solder. Okay, that is the band name, but also gratitude. All right, we've hit the lottery. Just count your blessings right now. That's what David Reimer's story, I think, can really, at its core, do.
I'd agree.
With the gender shit. It's doing stuff for that, like raising awareness of nature over nurture, blah blah blah. But at its core, it reminds us to be thankful for who we are and what we do. Good God.
Who you get to be. That's the thing. A lot of people think that like transgender, it doesn't affect me. I'm a man. I've always been a man. I'm always going to want to be a man.
Yeah.
Hey, dude, David Reimer wasn't transgender either.
No.
But he got fully roped into the world and issues therein. And like I said, was very, very humble, very forgiving, and sort of championed those causes by then going public with his story, which is very difficult.
100%.
In order for it to not happen moving forward.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. You're like, oh, transgender stuff doesn't affect me. It's like, yeah, you're lucky.
Yeah, totally.
If you feel that way, you're lucky that something didn't happen to you unrelated then. If you don't think gender identity affects you, it does.
Yeah.
It just does.
It does. To know who you are and to be accepted as who you are gender-wise, like, that's sick, dude. Like, you did it. Like, that's cool.
But
it doesn't happen.
A blessing, as they say.
It's a blessing.
Like, it's very...
Totally. Not everyone gets that.
Yeah. So maybe look at it through that lens next time. You're like, oh, the trans, this, and that. Well, you get to be who you want to be.
Yeah.
And you should consider yourself very lucky
100%.
and allow others to also be who they want to be.
Yeah.
And everyone will be happier that way.
100%.
Case in point, David being much happier as David.
Yeah.
Yeah, the things that happened before that maybe are not erasable, obviously.
Yeah.
And I think he battled that a lot in his later years. But it's hard to say. There's nowhere mentioned that, like, the suicide is a direct result of what he went through with his gender identity.
Oh, it could be like an investment separation thing?
Well, that's
his brother thing?
Certainly the way it's laid out here.
Okay.
2 years ago, he lost his brother. A year and a half after that, he loses $65,000.
Yeah.
Month after that, his wife wants to leave him.
It's rough.
Yeah, and then compounded by everything you've been through.
Yeah.
And your brother's maybe the only person that kind of gets it because he went through it too.
Yeah.
You know
what always weirds me out about those stories where people like lose a lot of money to investment. Like
right.
David Reimer lost $65,000.
Cocteau coin.
Yeah.
He was deep on Cocteau coin.
Totally, it was a meme coin.
I got a new way to get my cock back.
It's Cocteau coin. No, but like he had $65,000. That's crazy, bro. Like
he was doing fine.
He was doing great.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. Like, all things considered, like, really made a life for himself, dug in, and was maybe like the depression was probably root cause of this.
100%.
So not to say that it was not involved at all, but
it was triggered by a couple of things.
He did great for himself, all things considered.
Yeah, honestly.
It's a shame, obviously, things ended that way. He didn't have a ton of support, but
yeah.
What a life. And it is fun to say that you can do cock on, cock off stuff. Cause like I said, he's not trans.
You can do what?
Like, you can be like, oh, where can I find a cock? Let me get a cock back. I'm trying to buy a cock.
Oh, he can, they would be like, hey, we got a cock for you.
Yeah. And that's like funny. And we can say that because it's not a trans person. I'm not making fun of.
No.
If you want to be transitioning or whatever. Yeah. Knock your cock off. But, in this case, it's kind of funnier.
Yeah.
Gratitude. Money went on to be mortified by this case.
Really?
He never commented publicly on the book or Reimer's suicide, and colleagues close to him said that he was mortified by this case, that he would, like, if it was brought up, he'd be like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about.
What a piece of shit.
So, yeah.
It embarrassed him. You ain't got the balls money to come out and say, yeah, no, I fucked that one up.
That's the thing. So that's how you know he's a real piece of shit.
Yeah, totally.
For the first 30 years after his initial report that the assignment had been a success, Money's views of the malleability of gender became the dominant viewpoint in the field, reassuring practitioners that sexual reassignment of infants was the correct decision in certain instances. So like I said, this report made it so that many people across the world were looking at this in scientific journal and going, oh, that's what we do for that.
Yeah.
That's how that is treated.
Okay, cool. John Money established a precedent, and so now we just do what he did.
Yeah. So he claimed the success of Reimer's gender transition as support of the optimum gender rearing model for intersex children.
Holy shit.
Researcher Mary Ann Case argues that Money's view on gender also fueled the rise of the anti-gender movement. So he's a bit of, he's the type of guy that would say some stuff that would fuel other people to go, yeah, gender is a construct.
Okay.
This guy's right.
Sure.
So he really kind of started to stoke that fire. If pro-LGBT allies and supporters are over here, he is sort of the grandfather of the people on the other side being like, why aren't you just a boy?
Okay, sure.
Because you could be.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
But aren't the trans LGBT community, aren't they gender as a construct people too?
But not in the way where they go, if you want to raise a girl, you can.
Okay,
like
sure.
if you got a girl and you wanted a boy, no sweat. Throw her in some jeans and just raise her that way, and you got a boy. I don't think they're pro that.
Okay, yeah. That's right.
They would be pro in David's case of the point when David's 14 and goes, "Oh, I'm a boy. I'd like to live as that then."
Okay, yeah.
I think they align pretty clearly on that.
Sure.
That being what he wants to live as and always did feel like, and then sort of felt the green light to be like, oh, that makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah. No, I'm a
versus
dude.
the money school of thought, which is more like, oh, you can force them.
Yeah.
You can force them.
Girls wear dresses. Yeah. Boys wear
a clear binary.
Cock solder t-shirts.
Like there is still the binary.
Sorry. Yeah, there's still a binary.
We're gonna start that band, make a couple tracks.
Yeah, totally.
Under their name. Colapinto's book really influenced medical practices, reputations, and even current understanding of the biology of gender through looking at his case and understanding that, okay, we tried that and it clearly did not work.
Yeah.
And in many other cases did not work.
Sure.
So
nice. Hey, thanks, Dr. Money. We realize what a colossal fuck up looks like.
Yep.
And thanks for doing that, because we know no one should ever do that again, because it's actually a crime.
So this case accelerated the decline of sex reassignment and surgery for unambiguous XY infants with micropenis.
Okay.
Oh, scrolled over that blue link. And that's what you'd think. Various other rare congenital malformations or penile loss in infancy.
Okay.
So it flipped the norm back to like, no, we absolutely do not do that.
Yeah.
We don't even try to do that.
Sure.
We leave it alone. We medically intervene and we let nature play out.
Yeah,
we let the human develop as it will.
Yeah, because like the kids were 6 months old when they got that
circumcision, the botched circumcision.
Like, talk about jumping the gun. Like, give it a second with the foreskins.
Where they went wrong was when money came into their life, right? Because at this point they have a child with, a botched circumcision.
Sure.
And it's like bad, but and I'm not a doctor, but with the luxury of hindsight, wait, by the time puberty comes around, maybe you do the surgery, the phalloplasty, where they build a penis.
Yeah.
And then you can explain, oh, you're a boy. You've always has been a boy. That's why you felt that way. Your penis is a bit different.
Yeah.
No big deal.
No biggie.
Right? Like you're going to explain your penis to the child at some point anyway.
Yeah.
So just explain that they're a little bit different.
Yeah. It's a little bit of a different cock, and we'll figure it out down the road.
And I get it. I understand the fear of being like, oh my God, my son's not going to have a happy, healthy life because he doesn't have a penis.
Yeah.
Yet.
Dude, we're working on it. We'll get you a dick.
And the hormones are going to be the same.
Yeah.
Like,
totally. We're just going to let nature kind of take over.
Easy to say how you would, again, react in hindsight with whatever, but
it just sucks that this kid had to live as the example. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You never want to be the one that people look back at and be like, well, remember that? Well, we're not going to do that again. Like this poor kid, he pretty much got his life robbed from him. And
his childhood for sure.
And it was a testament to David that he turned it around and managed for a couple of years to live as a normal, healthy male. Mm-hmm. But eventually, the pressure got to him, which understandably so.
Yeah,
but
100%.
Adults, you gotta, especially in the 60s, they did that a lot, where they would, and this just goes to like little parenting shit. They just assume that babies and small children, they don't remember it, so it won't hit them. Like, or we can do this shit because they're just small kids. They don't understand. Not really completely understanding that, no, we're taking all of this in and it's shaping us.
Yes.
So stop fucking with us so much. Mm-hmm. Like, and I think that's, becoming more understandable now, but when you have a small kid, just give them some room. Stop trying to fuck with them, take care of them and stuff like that. But like you were saying, like, let's give it a minute and let's let nature see what's up, and then we'll make the adjustments as need be.
Because it is nature.
It's nature.
It's a biological being that you've created and is now going to grow. So look at it, maybe not one for one, but look at it like a plant.
Yeah.
Okay, like a tomato.
Sure.
You got a tomato plant growing. Yeah, you put the stick in the ground, so it's got structure to grow on.
Yeah.
But you leave it.
You leave it alone.
You're not tilting it. You're not going, if I can make it a grape.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a tomato. Let it grow how it grows. Help it grow straight.
Yeah, you don't need to be there.
Help.
Yeah, grow
when
straight.
I say straight,
grow straight. A straight male.
No.
Grow completely.
Let it grow upright.
This whole podcast of work undone by that one slip.
1 hour just to get to that point.
It's a great example, though. Let the plant grow. Stop getting in there every 30 seconds with your pesticides and your herbicides and your fucking manipulation and blah, blah, blah. Like you're going to engineer a perfect plant. Nature's already engineering shit as good as it will ever do. So we don't need you always stepping in there. Sometimes you got to intervene, I guess, if it's like medically, whatever. But like for the most part, you make little adjustments and then you back the fuck up. Mm-hmm. John Money's getting in there thinking he's just going to...
He's playing God.
He's playing God. He's in the kitchen with 2 frying pans trying to whip up a child. It doesn't work that way. Mm-hmm. So hopefully David Reimer, stands as an example that for the most part, humans just making shit worse. Just get out of the way.
Yep. And he does. He is an example of, it's been in, there's episodes of Law and Order that are kind of like, or I shouldn't say episodes. There's an episode that is pretty clearly based on the story of Law and Order does a lot of that, taking like real stories and then just scripting them out in a way that is.
There's an episode of Full House based on this too, I think.
Is that true?
No.
Okay. I was like, because I'm looking at the popular culture thing right now, and I was like, they don't mention that. There's an NYPD Blue episode that features a character that is very similar.
Yeah.
There's a Chicago Hope episode of the Chicago universe. Chicago Fire PD.
That's right. Episode of Friends.
Friends. Joey has a brother whose cock gets cut off.
They call him Noe.
See, and it's fun. You can say stuff like that because it's not like it's not like a trans thing. It's just a terrible accident that happened to a young boy.
Yeah, totally.
Who ended up being a young boy.
Yeah.
Hymn of the Medical Oddity is the Weaker Than song.
Oh, really?
Which was about
cool.
Concerns Reimer in the lyrical content. There's a Taiwanese film called Born to be Human that shares a very similar plot where a child undergoes reassignment without consent and at the assistance of an authoritative doctor. Yeah, that makes more sense. Culturally. So it's really been all over in popular culture. And like I said, in that community particularly stands as the example of like, should anyone ever be like, what if they go, no, we did. And we won't.
Yeah. We did that. We tried it. Some asshole tried that already. We don't need to go down that road anymore.
Yeah, we've done it, and you'll be surprised by the results.
Yeah, that's a brutal story, man. So shout out, rest in peace, David, and rest in peace, his brother Brian.
As well.
And the whole family. That's just an ugly situation that family had to go through in order to give future generations examples.
And they're just trying to give their son the best life too. No hate to the parents. Like you see them on Oprah and the mom is just like, you can tell she's dejected and she didn't want to do harm by her son. She just wanted to do the best she could.
It's a nightmare scenario all around. And it also gives warning about, there are still shithead doctors about trying to make a name for themselves by really damaging people. So you got to worry about people within the academic and medical field who are, some of them corporate ladder climbers, no different than your average Wall Street shithead. And so just be careful.
Or they have ulterior motives like this guy.
100%.
Especially at the high level. Like if you go to a local, what's the kid doctor?
Kid doctor?
Podiatrist?
Yeah. Is that a foot doctor?
I think it's a foot doctor.
Podiatrist.
Pediatrician.
Oh, shit. See, we're dumb,
What's a kid foot doctor called?
Yeah.
Money. If you go to a pediatrician locally, odds are they're not going to be like, if you tried cutting that cock off.
Yeah, exactly.
When you go to Johns Hopkins, you're more likely to meet a guy that's like, I have a theory.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's where those guys reside. They don't.
We're going to try something out here, Dave.
Yeah. That's when they should have ran. But what can you do?
Yeah. I think we're out of time.
I think that's it, man.
Man.
What a story.
What a story.
Didn't get as funny as I thought it would, but first half would have covered that.
Yeah, 100%. But that's just not a funny story. I don't think it has to be funny. It is an incredible story, and it's a guy. It's just at the end of the day, it's a kid from Winnipeg
with international impact.
With international impact and very important legacy that just happens to be wrapped in tragedy. But this David actually did probably a lot of good in the world.
I think
through his life.
I think he'd be pleased with that. Who am I to say?
Yeah,
David, you did it for me.
You
just like Shifley did it for his dad. David, it's what I would have wanted.
Yeah, hell yeah, you set the example. Honestly,
so, cheers to you, David Reimer.
Cheers to you.
Cheers to you, Dancing Gabe.
Yeah. What is? Yeah.
See you at the Gold Eye. Well, because his year's over too.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And he's no good at golf.
He's kind of bummed. Yeah.
So he'll be playing something else. I'll tell you what. Gabe plays pickleball.
Yeah.
That's
Gabe,
what I
you're
picture.
a great dancer. I'm trying to tee off here. Please. Your season's done.
Can you not talk in my backswing, Gabe?
Yeah. Gabe, please. Yes. Here, go play with the balls.
You're trying to tee off, and in your peripheral, you just see Gabe. Stop it,
Please.
Gabe.
Please.
You're embarrassing me in front of the cart girl.
The year's done.
Gabe,
okay?
I'll cut your cock off. I swear to God. All right. Let's get out of
All
here.
right. Yeah, let's get out of here. Prairie Dogs, another episode. I'm headlining Rumors June 3rd and 4th.
May 27th and 28th. Now that the Jets are out, you can buy tickets. I know you were waiting. I know people were waiting.
We got the schedule. We're out. Don't worry. Go to Rumors Comedy Club. Go to a stand-up show.
Lucy's Comedy Club in the back of Ashdown Market.
Ashdown Market still whipping up incredible food here in the Exchange.
Yeah, we're going to be doing Prairie Dogs live soon, probably here at Lucy's Comedy Club. So keep an eye out for that.
Yeah.
Zellers.biz for tickets to things that are happening here.
100%. Follow us on Instagram at Prairie Dogs, at Prairie.Dogs. Follow us on YouTube. Just fucking follow us and subscribe wherever we are.
It is
and
important.
Like
It's
shit.
important and it's helpful. Like, subscribe, and then you can mute us if you want. But it's important to be a number, be a metric.
Yeah, be a number. Those numbers actually help. You know what I mean? If you're watching the content and you're not subscribed yet, pitch in.
You're freeloading.
You're
freeloading.
You're downloading off Napster circa 2000, which we did.
We're
heavily.
coming for you like Metallica did.
Lars over here.
Yep.
I'm pissed, and we're going to sue you, even though I'm a billionaire.
So that's it, I guess. Thanks, guys.
Thanks a lot.
Appreciate it. Funny episode next week. Swear to God.
Funny, lighthearted, warm. It's going to get better. Okay?
Love you.
Love you. See you guys.